Hey, I'm back with part 2 on your pelvic floor health and ab workouts and trying to get your tone back after baby. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to make this 5 or 6 minutes. It never works. But I've also been trying to combobulate a bunch of information at once, and I'll see if I can remember all of it. But I did go to a pelvic floor specialist, and I have a lot of new information this time around, so I'm pretty excited about that. I can start with my progress, I guess. I was trying to get my tone back, and well, here we go, right? It's not like where I'd like to be in the end game, but definitely like nothing to sneeze at, right? It's nothing wrong with it. It looks good. I am still making progress. I am working on exercises, and I went to whole health physical therapy, so I'd like to give them a shout out too, and Monty, and let her know how great she is and how much help everything was. Come to find out, I had suspicions that I had hypertonic pelvic floor. I didn't exactly get diagnosed with that, but I definitely had a lot of tension on this side of my abs, and I wasn't able to see that on my own, but she had showed me that even when I stood in front of the mirror, she said she could see that my hips were out of line. So this part of my stomach was all crunched up and knotted up, and it had to be released internally by internal massage and also externally. But it was crazy the way it felt. It was like guitar strings being plucked. It was just super intense, and there were definitely knots in there. And come to find out, you're not going to be able to deal with that on your own if you are having hypertonic pelvic floor or knots. What happens is the muscle gets embedded into the tissue around it. And if that's what is holding you back and that's where your issue is, which was me, I was wondering, a whole year has gone by. Why am I not getting my tone back? It's because your abs aren't able to heal themselves if you're out of alignment. And the only way to do that is to get it massaged out. Those muscles aren't going to be released just by you working out and you stretching, which was what I was going for. It's just impeding the whole healing process, and it's a lot to think about. A couple new things that I learned from her. One, I am dealing with a lot of bloating after baby, and I definitely was not before baby. So it's I wonder if, this is somehow linked to having a kid. And she's like, oh, 100%, your gut health is affected by having a baby. And now I'm kind of trying to tackle whether it could be gluten, whether it could be dairy, trying to limit my intake of different things. I mean, I've always been limited in gluten. That's just kind of how I grew up, but dairy's gonna be a lot trickier for me. So I'm trying to just lower it instead of eliminate it. And so far it's actually been helping. I'm just paying more attention to what I'm eating and how it affects my bloating. And if I can, I've looked at the low Fodmap diet. I'm also considering that. I'm just trying to figure out something. And Monzi was helpful with this too. She said some sort of diet plan that you're gonna wanna maintain for a long time, that you're gonna be able to do for as long as possible, right? And low FODMAP may be eliminating a lot of foods that are actually really healthy. They just tend to cause bloating. So it's you have to make these decisions, but it may not be a long-term solution, is what she was saying. And I tend to agree. But the good news is, if you want to lower your dairy intake, there are so many other options out there, right? This is the modern era. If you want to substitute something for dairy, you have so many options, and it's so easy to, for me especially, to throw in some almond milk in my coffee in the morning instead of half and half. Cook with almond milk. It still tastes good, definitely changes things, but there's just plenty of substitutions. Oat milk is a thicker milk if you want to cook with that. There's a lot of stuff you can work into your diet without just having to eliminate dairy. I've talked about that in my acne video. I think you don't want to make such drastic diet changes that you're not able to like make them a part of your life, you know? So don't be like, oh, I'm never eating carbs again, I'm never eating sugar. Like, just do what you can each day to like lower and control these things so that you're not overwhelmed by it. That's my take on the whole diet situation. Make it something that's sustainable over a long period of time. And the last thing I think I wanted to touch on was that she was able to walk me through several of the exercises that I'd already been working on and show me how to do them way better by abdominal bracing. And again, I was on the right track with this, but I wasn't able to do it the way she was showing me how to do it until like she physically was like, no, this is an abdominal brace. And it's when you, I think this is the part I was missing, you want to even pull your ribs in, make this whole area work, all of your trunk. Not just, I was definitely like keeping this tight down here and stuff, but my ribs flare a lot. And I don't know if, it might just be me, but I had to really think about like closing this gap here, keeping it tight. You're still breathing, but you're going to maintain that brace while you're doing like dead bugs, while you're doing your glute bridges. Those were a couple of the big ones that we were doing. And then of course be able to release and relax it too. But that bracing, I think, is what I was missing, because when she showed me how to do it properly, it was much, much harder to do the exercises that I had been doing already. So I am backpedaling still, but I feel like I've made a lot of progress, and I can actually see progress in my abs after having the massage. And I think it's just because they're able to align better and like distribute evenly instead of having like these knots and these tensions, stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep working, and I do have a little bit of a DR, I think, but like now I think I'm on the right track. I would definitely recommend a pelvic floor specialist. I would definitely recommend whole health physical therapy. Obviously, she's in my area, but call, ask if you're, check online if your insurance would help cover it or cover it all. Probably won't, but you can give give individual therapies a call and see if they're able to like work with you. And I wish you the best of luck. I think I got everything kind of covered in this video, and hey, good luck in getting those abs back.